Welcome to Color Conversations. My name is Nayah.
Hello, my name is Keleghai Mentan, or Kiki for short. I am originally from Cameroon, West Central Africa. I'm a U.S. citizen, even though I consider myself a little bit more of a global citizen. And I am an engineer at the Boeing company.
What led you into engineering?
So ever since I was a little girl, I literally dreamt about being a pilot. I did not want to play with dolls. Whenever I got a doll, I'll break up its head. Sorry. So I just started asking my dad if I could get planes instead. So he would buy me planes and helicopters for Christmas instead of dolls. And so from that, I loved math and science, and I excelled in those throughout school, all the way to high school. And then when I got to college, my advisors advised me to go into engineering since, I was passionate about it. And so since I loved airplanes and I liked engineering, aerospace engineering.
Part of this Color Conversations is addressing colorism.
Mm-hmm.
Is that a term that you're familiar with or that you've heard used frequently at all, or if at all?
Definitely.
Okay.
It's something that I think we talk about, but I don't think we talk enough about it, especially within our African community.
Mm-hmm.
But there is a lot of colorism. Within our African community, there are very many different spectrums. You can look at somebody from Sudan, quite dark, and then you go all the way to people in Morocco, Egypt, they're quite fair. Mm-hmm. Yes, they are African.
Yeah.
So they're quite fair. So we really do have a big range,
right,
from quite dark or deep dark, as some people say, to quite fair, that you can actually be termed as white or Caucasian.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So oftentimes they're termed as Caucasian. So within that mist, now you want to talk about a lot of us who are on the darker side. There's even levels to it. Right? There's levels
Tell
to our darkness.
Tell me.
I mean, you and I sitting right here, we're from the same country. We're both from the same area, but we are quite different skin tone. I was having a conversation with a boyfriend of mine, and we're talking about a skin tone within our country. He was Cameroonian as well, and just as dark as I am. And so we're having the conversation about girls bleaching their skin, because it's quite common not only in our country but throughout the continent of Africa. And so for me, I was like, it's really horrible that girls feel the need to bleach their skin. Not only is it very dangerous and you're damaging your pigment, but also it's like, what is the outcome? What is the end goal for bleaching your skin? And he said to me that I actually think you'd be prettier if you were lighter. So to me, that really took me aback. One, because we're both about the same skin tone, and knowing the person and knowing of his dating history, has always dated someone about similar tone to me or even darker. He's never really been with anyone fair skin. I experienced quite a deep sadness in that moment, and I asked him, why does he think so? He's like, I don't know, don't get me wrong, you're beautiful, but I just think that you'd be prettier if you're lighter skin. And so I'm like, that is why we are not progressive. That's what I actually said to him. I was like, because of the way you think is the reason why a lot of girls keep doing these things, because they take the comments from their loved ones specifically and they internalize that, and therefore they feel like changing their exterior would be more pleasing not only to their family but as well to the entire world. I remember as a child in Cameroon, when I saw a lot about bleaching cream. To be honest, I actually dabbled in that because I just wanted to be able to fit into society. I didn't understand what that meant,
right,
but I definitely wanted to try it. I remember I was about age 10, and I just went to a store and, I saw it and I was like, oh, let me give this a try. With my little pocket money that my parents had given me.
And it's so accessible.
It really is that accessible. It's over the counter. A 10-year-old can go purchase that. So I didn't need any parent permission or supervision to do it. The good thing is I'm really sensitive to smell. And so I didn't like how it smelled, right? And so I tried it and I was like, oh, this is not working. Because in my mind, it was supposed to be instant, right? You're supposed to go from dark to just like that. I didn't understand that.
It's a process.
It's a process. And I'm glad I didn't understand that it was a process. So when I tried it, it didn't work. So I was like, well, that was money wasted out of the very little money I had. So for me, that quickly died down. But the thought was still there that, lighter was better. And it didn't fade away because when I got to the US in Minnesota and I went to college, I actually sat there and had conversations with guy friends, and they told me that lighter is better. We are really in the society that they've really painted the darker you are as been like dirty or not desirable, which was interesting because I'm like, what am I going to do at this point? I can try to change the exterior, but I'll never be light on the inside. So how do I change that? So that's where self-love comes into play. And I think a huge factor of that is my mom. My mother, you can't tell her she's not beautiful. If you want to question her beauty, that's your problem. So she's really empowered all her daughters, because she's 5 daughters, that they should really accept their beauty in their own skin. And she was standing, she was like, I'm fabulous. I am beautifully made. And so she loves herself. So that self-love has really influenced me. And now more so than ever, there's a lot of movements where they accept yourself, love yourself, love the skin you're in. So I feel like it's really empowering, especially for our younger ones, to see that, because the hope is that they won't have to face the same type of struggles that we've had to do when it comes to our skin.
If we reverse that, when we're talking about people bleaching their skin, do you think is it too harsh to say that it's hate?
I do know people personally who have bleached their skin or are bleaching their skin. And at first I wondered if it was self-hate, but I would say it is insecurity and influence is what I would say. So if you're in an environment that keeps telling you lighter is better, you're going to think and believe lighter is better. So the actions that will follow with that are you will try to bleach your skin, because that is an idea that has been engraved in your mind. So you'd want to live up to that. So part of it is that. And then insecurity, because if you don't love the skin you're in, you would want to change it. It's the same reason why people do plastic surgery, right? Because you want to tweak this, you see somebody has this item, you want to make sure you look the same or better. But one thing I've learned and noticed that no matter how you change your exterior, you still have to love yourself. It's very important that you are comfortable in the skin you're in and that no one makes you feel uncomfortable in your skin. So I would continue to tell myself that you being who you are will change the world in your own way.